Welcome back, YouTube. This is How to Play Aether Gazer with Veilside, and today I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the story. It's been something I've been thinking about for a while, and it makes me curious, and I've tried to figure out why so many people have kind of left the game or just skipped over the story. You know, when I first started playing, I was kind of confused as well, of course. I mean, in a sense, the story kind of gave you a little bit of information overload because of all the reading. So it seems like there's either two kinds of people that play Aether Gazer, at least when it launched, right? There's either the people who will skip the story altogether and just play for the battle, for the cool mechanics of the game, the characters, whatever. Or it's the people who really tried to invest into it, and they read it, and they watched it, and they played through it, and then eventually they hit a first and a second, and maybe even a third information wall, and they kind of gave up on the story. So I'm making this video today for both of those two people. This is the perfect time to just kind of get a recap of what's actually happening within Aether Gazer, and go from there, especially in this Hela event, because in the Hela event, this is actually when the story starts to get good. Even though the Hela event is probably a side story, I think it's probably more important than the summertime event. But the story is actually getting good right now, so this recap should help you to get a full picture of what happened in the past from the launch of the game and what's happening right now as you start to pay attention to Hela's event story. Alright, well, with that being said, let's jump into the video. This is the world of Aether Gazer. The world of Aether Gazer originates from some sort of cataclysmic event known as the Calamity. More than 200 years have passed since this great war, and it catastrophically obliterated the old world. Before this utter destruction happened, the human beings at that time created a computer program named Gaia with nanotechnology, giving them the ability to separate the soul from the body, and to upload those souls into the virtual world of Gaia. In this virtual world, there are 4 kinds of beings living in existence that we know of. Legitimate human beings like admin, modifiers who are heroic in nature and originate either from the souls of the past or of the present, android bodies used by souls with ill motives like Ethan, and the dangerous, diseased, and demonic creatures known as Vizbanes. These Vizbanes spawned through corrupted code within Gaia's virtual world, while all of the data was being processed by those that created the program. Vizbanes function on a dark energy that makes them crave the blood and destruction of the people within Gaia, and therefore they must be terminated. Not all of them are the same, however, as many of them can speak, think, and even act as if they were a human soul. Some, through these cognizant social skills and years of committing crimes in the past, have even risen to the height of power as gods, little g, commanding the more simpler Vizbanes to serve their own evil purposes. The problem, however, is that the Vizbane data corruption within Gaia's programming is spreading at a rapid rate, producing quakes and even full-on ruptures in the ground that harbor raw Vizbane energy, multiplying the Vizbane monsters. Though the Korg military force is operating around the clock to quash the threat, many souls are still being attacked and even devoured by Vizbanes, turning them into a hybrid of vicious but human-like Vizbanes. This is why Odin, the leader of Aether Gazer, has set into motion the modifier program, with the sole purpose of remedying this dangerous disease. Act 1, as I call it, of the game starts off in a pre-war world in the year of 2100, with the admin as the very first human to ever lead a team of modifiers through Gaia. Throughout the many fast-paced battles with epic boss fights, realistic graphics, and warm-hearted modifiers to band together with admin, Verthandi and admin become the closest of friends at the core of the team. Soon others join them as well, as they fight their way through one of the 10 major zones that make up the very wasteland of the Calamity, where the catastrophic battleground sits from the Great War that utterly destroyed the past world. These 10 zones are called Sapphira Zones, and this is where Gaia's Aether Gazer antivirus program runs its course. As admin and the modifiers seek to search and rescue every soul in danger, they meet a leading investment company in its field known as Spielt Industries. The leading spokesman of this company is a man named Eugene Spielt, who acts much like a campaigning politician, but in reality, the man is just a pawn, a public face for the people of New Henza, one of the 10 major zones, to trust and be extorted from. 3 years ago, when the company started its business, it promised the public an innovating sales pitch to advance their quality of life through AGI mecha machines. But soon after these machines were in every home and business, they started to malfunction from their AI simulated personalities and took on a very dangerous and destructive behavior. In a riot and rampage, these machines went on a killing spree, attacking humans in both commercial and residential areas. But despite such a horrendous event, the people of Gaia's society soon forgot the incident altogether over the next 3 years, and in the name of comfort over safety, began to purchase Spielt's mecha machines again. Amidst this business's daily work, Spielt Industries hired many workers to harvest a rare metal, while also employing a gang of unruly androids with malicious motives for personal gain to act as a security team to patrol the area in case there were any unwanted trespassers. As the AGI mechas started to malfunction again, however, Aether Gazer had to step in. Admin and the team breached Spielt Industries and met with many battles with the Children of Iron, as Ethan, 01, and Olheim led the workers to evacuate the building and traded blows with the modifiers. At this point in the story, Spielt Industries was a ticking time bomb of Vizbane reactors. As Team Aether Gazer defeats the Children of Iron and investigated the premises, they soon discovered that Eugene Spielt was not the mastermind behind the production of Vizbane mecha machines after all. The leading individual behind this deadly scheme was none other than Halfos, the Cognizant. After discovering this, Admin, Berthandi, Osiris Innocence, and Shu lead the charge down to the very source layer of Vizbane energy at Spielt Industries, where Halfos charges Kusherfang, the Centaur mecha machine that he created, to destroy Team AG and the admin. Yet, the beast is unable to beat our heroes and runs out of energy. Finally, the team makes it to the heart of the Vizbane reactor core, where they meet and defeat Halfos head-on, but not without a price. As the huge spider-like monstrosity of Halfos's body was destroyed, a dark and demonic creature crawls out of the machine. Before the creature could get away, Verthandi lunged at the demon with her sword and cut through the very core of its being, breaking Halfos's energy core into tiny shards of Vizbane energy, that shattered everywhere in the area, especially around Verthandi, Admin, Shu, and Osiris. The sudden spread of Visbane energy from Halphos's energy core, coupled with the concentrated Visbane energy fueling the reactor core, set Osiris' innocence into an unstable condition. On the very same battlefield, Osiris collapses to the ground while pleading forgiveness towards Shu. In confusion and concern, Verthandi, Admin, and Shu realize that Osiris' innocence was not as innocent as she seemed to be. Soon after, an alternate personality rises within Osiris and takes on the persona of Aesir, a vitriolic, venomous enemy bent on destroying the modifiers of Aether Gazer out of a sheer envy and lust for battle. As this battle ensues, Admin, Verthandi, and Shu manage to defeat Aesir without claiming the life of Osiris. But before returning home, one final treacherous note is still yet to be played. Eugene Spielt's cover is blown, and his true identity is revealed as one of the leading Visbane entities over the whole scheme of Spiel Industries. Novik is his name, and before vanishing in a plain sight, he pierces a death blow into the back of Co-Commander Balder. Though Halphos and his goons were finally stopped on this successful mission, Aether Gazer returns home in a victory of exhaustion, concern, and melancholy circumstances, as Osiris and Balder are admitted into the hospital. This concludes Act 1 of Aether Gazer. This, as we have seen, is not the end of Team AG, as Act 2 of the game starts into the Japanese culture of the land of Sasanomi, where Admin and the team traverse the second zone of the Calamity. As new characters are introduced, Admin and the team are met with a new Visbane enemy known as Orochi, the Snake God, Little G. Throughout the story of Sasanomi, we soon discovered that the Visbane power can be harnessed and even manipulated into human souls, forcibly. Caught up in the wave of raging vengeance and an irreconcilable grudge, Sayu Miyahibi leads a coup against his uncle's empire, rising to power as the snake god Orochi rides his coattails for her own vile purposes. The two begin to force the Visbane power on humans in order to bring together a demonic military force that rules over the order of the 5 families within the land of Sasanomi. Admin and Team Aether Gazer, however, have different plans, and are able to infiltrate the operation and bring about peace. After this explosive end, I believe that we have a short intermission before we jump back into the story of Act 2 of Aether Gazer. During the summertime event, Intermission, of Act 2, Scotty and S. Leviathan are introduced into the story as Admin's team expands. With a short and relaxing vacation at the beach, Aether Gazer is quickly pressured back into action as a water siren arises, calling for the team to gird up their loins and cast off their emotions to live another day. This brings us to where Act 2 picks back up in the story from the present-day event known as Where the Butterfly Belongs. Thanks for listening. I hope it helps. Peace.